Like I'm doing this again, I guess. I forgot to record the audio. Whatever, that's fine. 20 minutes of my life. God. Uh, Whatever. So what I first did is I downloaded the amazing Mobileadora client, which is meant to be hosted in a little HTTP server. I'll do it on port 8080. So now I can connect on my browser. You can see it's very simple. The whole point of that library, it makes you a little web page that will have this little blank div over here, and it'll just listen in when you press this green button. It'll connect to the server. It'll listen in for frames, which hold different input things, and it'll communicate with the server that gives it all the awesome input stuff like buttons and clicks. They communicate through this little web app, which is designed mainly for mobile in mind, but I'll be showing in my desktop just because it's easier to record, and also I don't know, it just looks nice. Yeah. It's a little setup. So on this window, I have I can run my code, just show it. And over here is the actual code we'll be looking at. This top part over here, boilerplate stuff. This is the important thing, Include your headers, kids. Little wait command so my computer doesn't explode. Yeah, so let's write an app. So first thing you want to do, you want any of these apps, you want to initialize the Mobileadora client. So you give it the max number of clients you want to have and the port you want to run it on. In this case, let's go with 10 clients. And the port is going to be 8000 because the default setup for Mobileadora, when you press this green button, it'll go to this address, localhost in this case, or it could be, an IPv4 address, or it could be anything. And then it'll add over here the port 8000. So it'll be looking out for that. So we'll give it what it wants. I don't want to edit any HTML today. I'm going to free the library at the end. Yeah, also, we should probably just make sure this works. So, hello world it is. So if we go here, make try. Yep, hello world. Cool. So, hold on. Oh yeah, C89, very important. So actually, C89, okay. Now, this library, if you read the repo, right, it's got two things that are important about it. It's got frames, which you basically directly control, and clients, which you just sort of queue and loosely interact with. So frames hold all the sort of boilerplate input stuff. So, I mean, they're basic what's inside of this div, just made it easier to understand. So let's create it first. Create. So we'll give it a type. There's two types of frames. Let me see. Let me memorize that. Yeah, okay. So there's two types of frames. You have dynamic frames, and basically when you're in here and you have a button, as soon as you click that button, or within 10 milliseconds or something, the app over here will send that immediately to the server, right? So that'll be instant. And you have static frames, yeah, and it always says retrieves input when prompted. So you'll have a little submit button you have to add. So even if you have a joystick or you have some buttons or you have some toggles, checkboxes, text, none of that gets sent until you click on the submit button. So usually you want dynamic for the things I do, but for forms and things like that, you'd use static. Dynamic in this case, orientation is going to be orientation vertical, even though these things don't really change that much because I sort of hardwired this application over here. These are useful settings for later on, but that's if I get to actually improving on this library. As it is right now, it's pretty solid, but these three options don't really matter. So, also we have to, whenever we create things, we have to destroy them. So don't forget to destroy your frames. And then we want to be, yeah. So let's populate this frame. Let's add some things. So you can add elements, which are sort of, you can add text to explain things, or you can add a little a break to add some space between elements, or some space to add space. You can add you can add headers to explain things. You can add h1, h2, h3 from straight up HTML, and you can add some text. That's like normal HTML text. It's just to make everything nice and explainable. But what we're going to do right now is we're going to add some frame inputs. That's the juicy bit of this library. You want to be getting all this data from multiple clients. So let's add a little button. Yeah, simple as that. Let's have a while loop. While one. Let's make it a. I'm talking a bit too fast, I know. I'm going to make it a terminal application, just so that it's nice and quick, no windows or anything. So while one, little timer so my computer does not explode. Then a frame. No, forgot a crucial step, right? So we've initialized the frames. Literally created them and then laid them out. What we also want to do over here is we need to send them, right? So as soon as how the library works is, as soon as it gets a connection, so this can be, one way, right? As soon as you click this green button, there's nothing right now, there's no server. As soon as you click this green button, the server gets pinged, and then it tries to send a frame. As things stand right now, there is no frame to send because the library doesn't really know about this, right? This is handled by you, only you know about this. You need to tell the library, hey, I want this frame to be sent, whatever client happens to join. That makes sense. So if anyone clicks this button, I want a default frame to be sent. So frame defaults is the command for that. And then we can send specific people frames, right? So this takes two parameters. It takes the frame and then the client index. So you said you want 10 clients. So internally there's an array of 10 clients. There's an array of length 10, and that contains everything important about the clients. So you'd be saying, okay, first person that joins is getting this frame. Doesn't really matter in this case, but why not? So inside the while loop, what do we do? It's a little for statement. We need a lovely little unsigned int. Forgot the n. Okay. So I equals 0. I is less than ma client. Good thing about this library design is it's it's hierarchical. So you go from most important things and then subcategories. So it's really easy to work out, okay, what can I do with clients? Oh, here it is. Everything over here. Active count, don't really want that. We want the maximum count. This library is designed to be used like this, essentially, right? So you're queuing this internal array, and you're getting different properties from it. So client maximum counts. This is just this number over here that you set up earlier. I'll do a define for it so that we can do some cooler stuff later. Max clients. Is that 10? Let's keep that there to prove it works. And then we have a little if statement, and we do ma client input. This is how you retrieve the input from the client. Then it's the client index. So we want the ith client, and we want the 0th button. And then this has a return value, which is a Boolean. Yep. It'll be a Boolean B1. Make it false. Yep. Okay. So what this does is every retrieval function actually returns a Boolean, which returns true if it was found, right? If there exists a 0th button for the ith client, then it returns true. If there doesn't exist one, it returns false. Because we could have actually any number of frames here. I could delete this, and this code will still be valid, right? We want to make sure that the 0th button exists in this case. Like if I accidentally type this 3rd button, it won't cause any crashes, right? It'll just not return anything down here. So a button is present. Then we'll check if that boolean was pressed. This is a return value, right? So that return boolean, if it was pressed, we'll print client I pressed a button. Hooray for them. I'm gonna include that. Let me see, am I missing anything? Should work. Famous last words. We try. Yep. Launching client handler. So now we can click this lovely green button. And you can see a button has appeared. So I click it. Client 0 pressed a button. Alright. Now this is, hashtag web scale. So I can duplicate this and I can have as many as I like. It just works. These could be in phones. These could be, it's designed for phones. You get people to scan QR code, then they press a green button, then they're in your form. Yeah. But I'm just doing this the lazy way. You can see it's also a progressive web app, which I don't want to risk installing. Yeah. They can also disconnect. So client 0 disconnects, disconnected, rejoin. Important to know. How this works is it's not like persistent. Like this isn't like the server recognizing that client 0 is very special, so we have to make sure it's this tab in this browser and this IP address now. If I disconnect this, right, client 0 is gone. Now that becomes a free slot that the next person that joins occupies. So you can see, nothing to do with this guy. I could open this in a different browser and a phone. They'd replace client 0. Now this is client 3. Yeah. Okay, let's keep rolling. So very simple stuff, But you can see just in a few lines of code, we already have a pretty competent library. As well as important to know this HTTP server. It doesn't have to be HTTP, it could be anything. Yeah. No. Doesn't matter. So make sure you're hosting one. Yeah. What was I going to say next? Okay, let's add a few more buttons. So 2 more buttons. Let's have this be slightly more intricate. Code reuse, save the planet. Bing, bong. A slightly different button. Let's call this one Presto. Connect. 3 buttons, magical. They get magically named to ABC. That's in the JavaScript on this library's end. I didn't specify any text to be sent. This just goes ahead, styles them to be red buttons and styles them to go alphabetically. So it goes all the way to Z. Not sure why you'd want 27 buttons, but you can have them. Yeah. So let's see. A, press the button. Slightly different button. Presto. So have a little party over here. Ooh, wow, magical, so cool. That works. And that was a few more lines of code. I could add all that highly complex behavior. So, yep. Close that. Next, let's do some text input and let's add another frame. Oh, those Vim skills. Okay. Frame 2, creative name. frame dynamic for now. Orientation. Hopefully the sound is working. If it's not, I'm going to be very sad. Looks correct. Yeah. Vertical 0, 0 doesn't matter really. MA frame. So here what I want to have is I want to have a sort of naming system. So what I want to have is, you click the buttons, but to make this a bit more user-friendly, let's make it so if they press the third button, they get an option to give a name, right? So they can be like, oh, my name is Bill. So next time, as soon as they submit that, it'll redirect them back to this page, back to the original 3 buttons. And then whenever they click them, instead of saying client I, it'll say their name. So it'll say, if you typed in Roberto, it'll say Roberto pressed a button, or Roberto pressed a slightly different button. So how do we get that? First, we make a second frame. So we created it. Let's add an element this time. Let's add a header. Header 2. Yeah, who cares? Let's make this say type in name. Exclamation mark. Let's have a little struct user. This will store their name. So user name 11 characters. Yep, should be enough. So let's ask here for an input text. Watch this. Ooh. So what the text wants, because these are functions, change them around. So buttons take no extra parameters, but the input text does. So here you have to say how many characters you want. I mean, it's really how many bytes you want. So UTF stuff, it works with this all buffers, but so it's all organized in bunches of bytes. So typing in like one Chinese character might be 4 characters here. This is bytes you're putting in. It doesn't really matter for ASCII. It does matter for international stuff. But it was faster to implement this way. I should probably fix it, but it's not really a priority at the moment. Let's make it 10. Yeah, 10 characters. Anything else I want to have? Oh yeah, I don't know for now. Just dynamic. And this will be, prototype 1. So instead of saying presto, let's do a MA frame send frame 2. And we'll send it to the ith client. See, that's the wonder of this for loop. It just makes everything wonderful. Also, okay, let's keep it at this for now, actually. So step 1 is redirecting them. Oh no. I forgot to make this frame 2. And I also probably forgot to destroy frame 2, yeah. Okay, ignore that. There we go, A, B, and then C. Right? See how quick that was? I have this amazing binary exchange format, highly proprietary. It works, at lightning speed. And you can type. Maximum 10 characters. Again, if I copy and pasted 2 Japanese characters, it will be destroyed. But maybe it's better that way? I don't know. There's a limit, but you can type anything you like. That was step 1. That was creating this frame. Now, importantly, we should set... okay, yeah, let's go over here. If the client text, so the 0th client, the ith client, the 0th text, and we want this to go into the users. Did I not make that? I didn't make that. Okay. User, we want a users array. Let's make this max client's size. So I'm going to the users thing. The ith user is also going to be the ith client. and name. Yep, that's already a pointer, so there's nothing to do there. So what did I do wrong? Okay. So if there is a text input, and let's say if set input isn't just, completely null. So we should also, double equals. We should also go over here and have a little for loop. Because, this could just be a random chunk. We're not guaranteed to have this be. Actually, wait. If I just go here and do this. Problem solved. Problem solved. Okay, girl. Crap. Global variables get initialized to 0. Right, so there shouldn't be a problem now. No need to do that manually. So if the first character is 0, so if the first character is not 0, we want this to not be true. So if they actually type something in, right, and if the text exists, then we want to print that. And let's say name is client I. His name is no need for the colon. So their name is their users name. Yabba-dabba-doo. So do that. You see how everyone gets automatically disconnected? That's called good application design. Again, this still works, obviously, right? Anyone can do this. So, oh no. Oh god, okay, yeah. See what happened. Got really scared for a moment. Yep. So, now it should work. Yep. So, you see how it updates instantly? Oh, it's one character behind. No, it's not. It's fine. It's good. It's awesome. So, Tom. Or we could say something else. Right? And it updates instantly. We might not want that. Right? That's kind of wasteful bandwidth. It's a few bytes, but it's getting reset every time we change it. It's wasteful. And it's getting reprinted every time. So it only gets sent when you change it. It's just reprinting it over and over again. What we really want is, what I want, I'm the designer, obviously. What I want is to have a button, and then I can submit my name. Because I don't want to have my name be changed every 10 milliseconds, right? I want to have a nice, solid, reliable name that I submit when I'm ready. So here we can show off the static frames, right? Make this static. And we want to add a submit button, which takes no arguments. Okay. So what's happened now? We run this, go to C. Now if we type here, nothing happens. Because this is client side, right? Any client should do this, right? But what's going on is nothing gets sent from the client side until a submit button is pressed if the frame is static. So because I said it was static, it doesn't automatically add it, so you have to add one. But you can, it could be any of the submit frames. Client side, what it does is it creates a frame that doesn't automatically send things, only sends and then when you click submit, it sends the current value for everything. So when I click submit, right, the client's name is let's have Maybe the benefactor. That's a good name. The benefactor. Oh no, okay. Maybe just benefactor. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, that's nice. It's different. It's unusual. But what I wanted is for us to go back to the previous frame. So how do we do that? As soon as this happens, right? As soon as it submits, the username stops being null. So what we can do is over here, we just say, we basically yank them out of this frame. So we go image frame, send, and we take them back to reality mum spaghetti. A, B, different button, C, name. Ooh, client zero's name is name. Nice. So now we can use that information. Go over here, and actually let's copy and paste. Reuse, reduce, recycle. Actually, this is the else condition, and we don't need brackets because we're cool. Printf. No comma for us. Don't forget this. Yep. Copy that one more time. And go, ooh, Vimtrix. Pressed. Slightly different button. So we can go over here. A, B, client 0. Oh no, I don't identify client 0. That's kind of mean. Click C. Oh, what's this? My name is Lenny. Boom. Lenny pressed the button. Oh my god. Thank you. Look at this amazing. Okay. My name is, let's go with benefactor again. Wow. Wowzers. That's crazy. It's crazy. Look at that. And that was, it was pretty quick. Only in a few minutes, we got that. Very nice behavior going on. And I'll show you what a slightly more in-depth app looks like. So demos, asteroids. My favorite ones, honestly. Probably one I spend the most time on. And it's got slightly more complex. I don't know what I did. I did sort of, let me see. Did I do polymorphisms? I did like weird stuff. Yeah, do physics, entity header. Wow, so cool. Like another trademark Esko Steenberg C programming secret. What is it? Subtype polymorphism or something? You have a little struct, and they all have the same header. So when you pass it as a pointer, you can you just read the entity header bit, and that might have saved some time. Maybe it didn't, but all the collisions and stuff got really easy after that. So, gotta thank Esko Steenberg for that. So here's the actual part you really care about. We initialize it. We make a join frame. Maybe I'll just show you the app first. It'll be self-explanatory then. Let's go to bin. We have a few of these. Yeah. Asteroids. Now, I'll increase the volume of the desktop because there's actually sound effects, believe it or not. So, very boring at the moment. Just a few asteroids, but I can join. Write your name here. So you can see this is the join frame, which is sent by default. And you'll notice here also, hold on. It's been like a few months since I've seen this. Oh yeah, so the players, they get assigned a frame internally. And what happens is that frame can be customized. So I'll show you how it looks. So we got Lenny. It's my go-to name if you didn't realize. Lenny. Oh, Lenny's on the screen. Okay, this meant for a phone, right? Don't bully me. This actually works really. It looks like that on a phone, right? Laid horizontally. Wait, actually, I think I can show you. Open a mobile connector. What? Okay, let me not show you. Let me just use your imagination here. Look at this. You know, you got the thing. Well, there was a feature. I guess it's not showing or anything. It's meant to have the color of the player over here. I think it was too confusing. People thought it was a button. Might have been on me. Anyway, I can add more players. So let's say I don't want to say Lenny again, but I want to show the diversity of my app. So I'll go with Ricky. Ricky's slightly more green. Oh, look at that! So Lenny is winning. This is fun with other humans, but you can see how the app behaves pretty well. And this, you get a bunch of phones, say, hey guys, scan this QR code. Very, very easy and seamless to get people, just playing this game. And I can, for this game, the limit I set is, so I have let's go with define. 60 players. That's 60 player maximum. I didn't test whether 60 players was the best. Maybe it can handle way more than 60 players, maybe way less. From my testing, I'd assume it could handle them seamless. I mean, you'd run out of space. Like I made this web scale so you can do this, and it wraps the space around the window. So if you got like an 8K monitor, you could probably have 60 players. But I was testing this on a 1280p screen, so no chance of that ever happening. Anyway, another player. Is that too? I think that might be too loud with the sound effects. Sorry if I'm destroying your eardrums. I'll lower it. And they can also leave. Important to show. Yeah, they can just leave and they can rejoin. Again, there's no persistence. So if this player joins and this one, so if that one leaves and then this one joins. Yeah, there we go. They take their place. And this guy takes the other guy's place. Okay, I have to leave and rejoin. Then. Oh, also, there's like a 10% chance that your character is just like, yeah. Their color happens to be like pitch black, so you can't see it. Whatever, it's a fun game. It's a good library, and it made this way easier than it would have been otherwise. Imagine doing this with like keyboard layouts. You need to have a whole little micro program to manage which keys are allowed and which aren't, and which keys make up down stuff. Okay, it's impossible to do with keyboards. Controllers would be annoying, but this is just a nice little quick way to do it. So we'll go through the code quickly. Most of it is the logic for the game. So the actual input. I'm just using the library to coordinate this with a few structs. So the struct, with the player struct. So if the player is active and they haven't joined yet, then they check whether they have a name, right? And then if they submit a name, then they give them their corresponding frame, which is assigned at some point. Let me see. Okay, objective facts. The code is fairly long, actually. The bulk of that is the actual logic for the asteroid program, which took me... no, I think it's well laid out. Oh, God. Oh, yeah, drawing them was like drawing the actual things. had to add a little bit of matrix math in there to draw the triangles and the rotations. But it was fun. It was fun. There's also a few if defs. So if I activate this one, I have to rebuild the program, but it's worth it. Make all. No errors. Wow. Master programmer. Asteroids. Let out. So now I think they get a laser scope. Yeah, they get a little laser scope. Choo, sorry. Choo, choo, choo. You know, you can make a little app like this. So I made also a little snake demo. And this is, you know, it's my Mona Lisa, essentially. It's a PvP snake battle royale. You know, all out snake warfare. Meant to look like that on the phone, right? I mean, more like that, sort of. Sound effects, visual effects, all proprietary. Oh, you have a boost, you know. I mean, these are simple games, but they scale really, really well, and you can play with a lot of people. Also, you could, I mean, the real use for this is quick forms, quick apps, quick poll type things. Slightly, like, just making this from scratch is annoying if you don't want to make it, you know, design it from zero. But once you have this, it's just, I can make 1,000 of these prototypes in a month, right? It's just super, super quick. And it's very, very minimal. The library's so small, you can get your head around it really quickly. So making stuff like, you know, chains of frames is not hard. Making stuff like, yeah, like asking your name and displaying a different input thing. Not very hard. The final demo I have here is typing races. So, don't know if you know this copy pasta, but I made it into it. Oh, here it is. Here's the element thing. So it shows you what color you are. Like to interject for a moment what you're referring to. Obviously, this is competitive, so I can get another player out. They are green. Oh, God. 2 as Linux is in fact GNU / Linux, or as I've recently. Okay, it's really bugged. I made it way too quickly with a library I really, really don't understand. It's Relib, it's fast. It's quick to build apps with, but some of the tech stuff is just way, way too not difficult. Just you need to get some time to repair. So you know the lengths of the thing are incorrect, and it scrolls too quickly. But you could make something better than this. Yeah, you know, fairly easily. This input thing works. If I leave, you know, that leaves, all that. My end is satisfied. It's just making a crawling wall of text is apparently too difficult to do in an hour or so. But whatever, that was my library, and I hope you enjoyed it. It's been 38 minutes. I didn't fucking realize. Hope you have a good one.